Virginia's good at a lot of things. Building light rail is not one of them. This is the Tide, Virginia's first and only light rail system. At 7.3 miles long, it sits entirely within Norfolk city limits. It would have continued on into the neighboring city of Virginia Beach if its residents hadn't voted it down on more than one occasion. Instead, the Tide goes back and forth between Newtown Road and Eastern Virginia Medical Center, serving locations of questionable importance along the way. Out of all the light rail systems in the United States, the Tide has the honor of being the fourth least used per mile of track, just edging out Oceanside, Cleveland, and El Paso. You may ask, well, that's not last, so that's good, right? No. While it sounds counterintuitive coming from someone who supports rail transit, I ultimately agree with the Virginia Beach electorate's decision to reject the Tide in its proposed form. It's certainly not because I agree with the stereotypical anti-public transportation arguments that some city residents held. It's because the Tide was a compromise system from the start. For a majority of the track, it sits right next to the Elizabeth River and Interstate 264 on a strip of land where an old cargo railroad used to be. Most of its current stations don't serve particularly densely populated areas that would actually benefit from public transportation. Like, look at this station at Ingleside Road. There's just some single-family homes. I know they can't all be winners, but then there's Military Highway Station, which mainly serves the interchange behind me, 264 and Military Highway. Does the highway like the train? Does it ride often? If the Tide continued on into Virginia Beach, it would have charged forward on that old strip of land with stations just like the ones I mentioned and only served a few of the city's key destinations. If we want rail to work in Hampton Roads, if we want to change locals' opinions of rail transportation, we need to think bigger. A lot bigger. I'm not just thinking something that's just for the South Side or just for the Peninsula, something for both sides of Hampton Roads. We're talking Norfolk. We're talking Virginia Beach. We're talking Newport News and Hampton to start, all on one train line. The next two lines, well, those could link up Suffolk and Chesapeake too. Virginia needs CBART, Chesapeake Bay Area Rapid Transit. Like its San Francisco-based namesake, CBART will be a BART-style system, which according to Dragon_Fisting on Reddit, is like an S-Bahn system, which is halfway between the subway and commuter rail. The phrase S-Bahn means absolutely nothing to me, but what I can tell you is that a system of this style is well positioned to serve Hampton Roads and its polycentrism. Sure, Norfolk looks the most like a city you'd expect to see anywhere else, but Virginia Beach holds the highest population, and Hampton and Newport News have downtowns of their own. You'll get more stations in the denser urban areas and job centers, and fewer stations in the spots in between to keep the trains moving at high speeds, a pattern like something you'll find on the DC Metro or Seattle Light Rail. It'll connect the Peninsula and South Side, crucially avoiding the two river-crossing interstates' notoriously bad traffic during rush hour. The region will be more unified, and most importantly, people will want to end it all when there's a crash on the bridge tunnel. Let's dive deeper into where CBART would run. For the purpose of this video, I'll keep it at one train line with provisions for additional lines in the future. I want to maximize this first line's usefulness, making sure it hits some of Hampton Roads' most population-dense neighborhoods and largest employers. I don't have a proper ArcGIS Pro subscription to put this together. Why would I spend $100 to do it properly when I could do it worse, for free? Instead, I'll be relying on two data sets to come up with a draft design: the 2020 Census's population density map and Hampton Roads Alliance's top organizations list. CBART will start at Fort Eustis in Newport News, part of the region's largest employer, the military, continuing south on Jefferson Avenue on a bridge, serving the airport, Amtrak station, Jefferson Labs, and City Center. It'll turn onto J. Clyde Morris Boulevard to serve Riverside Regional Medical Center and Christopher Newport University. Then it'll continue south on Warwick Boulevard while diving underground to run through Hilton Village, and importantly serve downtown Newport News and the region's largest employer behind the military, Huntington Ingalls Industries, or the shipyard. After connecting to the transit center downtown, Cabart will hop back onto a bridge, turn, and run along 25th Street on Kecoughtan Road until downtown Hampton, serving Hampton University, the transit center, and downtown. Now, the line has a very large obstacle in its way: the James River. It's roughly 2 miles of uninterrupted water from downtown Hampton and Willoughby Spit. Not an easy task. Not easy until you take into account the 2 brand new tunnels the Virginia Department of Transportation are building for Easy Pass lanes. Cabart will take those 2 tunnels, axe the whole Easy Pass thing, and convert them into train tunnels. We don't need to think about how realistic this is. Just run with it. Now on the south side, Cabart will hook around on a bridge to serve the Naval Base, another one of the region's largest employers. It'll follow Hampton Road south to serve Old Dominion University, a dense area and another one of the region's largest employers. Running through Ghent, the line will run underground and serve Centaur General Hospital, Children's Hospital of the King's Daughters, and Eastern Virginia Medical Center, 3 more of the region's largest employers. The line will take a brief run on Brambleton Avenue to serve tourist destinations like the Chrysler Museum, then it'll divert onto Waterside Drive to serve downtown Norfolk. After popping above ground and hooking up with the Norfolk Tides Minor League Stadium and the region's second Amtrak station, Cabart will raise up to a bridge and follow Park Avenue and Virginia Beach Boulevard to serve Norfolk State University. It'll hit Military Circle, a major redevelopment site, and then cross the border into Virginia Beach to serve Town Center, the city's kinda downtown area, in a brief tunneled section. After serving North Virginia Beach and the Naval Air Station, Cabart will reach its final destination at the Virginia oceanfront, where it'll dive underground, turn, and continue south on Pacific Avenue until the fishing pier.
Its routing marks the beginning of a true regional system, connecting all of Hampton Roads while bypassing the heinous tunnel traffic.
Where Cabart goes is just one part of the equation. Next is its operations. Going back to the Tide for a moment, you'll see that from Monday through Thursday, the line opens at 6 in the morning and runs until 11 at night, with frequencies ranging from every 10 minutes to every 30 minutes, depending on the time. On Friday, the line stays open until midnight, running every 30 minutes. On Saturday, the Tide opens at 6 a.m. and runs until midnight, with trains running between every 15 and every 30 minutes. Finally, on Sunday, the train starts running at 10:55 in the morning and keeps going until 9 p.m. with a 15-minute frequency. There are a few things I'd like to change with Cabart. First, I'll open up that schedule. Monday through Thursday, we're looking at operating hours from 5 a.m. to 1 a.m. On Friday, it'll stay open until 2 in the morning. On Saturday, it'll run from 7 a.m. to 2 a.m. And on Sunday, it will run from 7 a.m. to midnight. Trains will run every 8 minutes, early in the morning, midday, and evening, every 4 minutes during the morning and evening rush hours, and every 8 minutes at night. On weekends, it'll be every 6 minutes all day and every 8 minutes at night. This is a massive improvement in my book. A train that rolls by so much you won't have to think about what time you need to catch the next one is truly invaluable. A train that runs so much of the day that you don't have to worry about finding another way to get home is just as invaluable.
Good public transportation is about removing barriers, and those are 2 huge barriers that we just leaped right over.
I'm talking about all these trains, but what exactly will these trains be? Those S-Bonds that famed Redditor, Dragon_Fisting mentioned, run trains that look like this, while a typical subway-style train looks like this. The S-Bonds are longer and wider to accommodate more people and longer distances. That being said, Hampton Roads isn't the largest region in the world, currently sitting at 1.8 million people. Cabart will merge the 2 train styles by combining the S-Bon's more traditional seating layout with the subway train's smaller size. I'm thinking of something like a 4 or 6 car train, similar in nature to what you'll see on the Canada Line in Vancouver. It's a worthy compromise. With smaller trains, service can run more frequently without being too financially ambitious. Additionally, Cabart trains will be fully automated, like the Montreal REM or Detroit People Mover, to minimize labor costs, making it even more feasible to run smaller trains more often because we won't have to worry about hiring a ton more train operators. I don't get that sweaty about train car manufacturers or rolling stock, but why not take advantage of Hitachi Rail's new factory in Maryland? Those new Metro 8000 series and SEPTA trains look pretty promising. A smaller but still important consideration is what Kabart stations should look like. Honestly, I don't think we need to look far for inspiration. The tied stations do their job just fine, and it's another key area that we can keep costs in check by avoiding ornate or excessive stations.
Ennisku Station actually serves as a pretty decent blueprint with it being elevated over East Brambleton Avenue. Just pop in a few fare gates on either side of the station and extend the platform to accommodate the larger trains, and we're good.
For underground stations, we can look to the past and other systems like the New York subway or SEPTA subway systems. Keep stations simple. They don't need to have ornate, massive mezzanines that drive up cost a bunch. We can keep it simple with things like that. And now, for the final ugly truth Kabart must face. Funding. This is what this train will live or die by, just like any other great public project. Fortunately, Hampton Roads already has a framework for sustainable transit funding. The Virginia State Legislature passed Senate Bill 1038, Hampton Roads Regional Transit Program and Fund, back in 2020, which created a transit fund that gets money through a regional grantor's tax, which is the tax someone pays when they purchase property. I propose the Commonwealth retool this to be funded through a land value tax, a less volatile alternative to the property tax, levied on Hampton Roads Transit's existing member jurisdictions while adding Suffolk into the mix. With that framework, Hampton Roads Transit should issue bonds to the public for Kabart's planning and construction, accompanied by an efficient outreach campaign clearly highlighting the economic, social, and environmental benefits the system will provide to the region. Side note, we're going to get rid of Suffolk Transit. Let me know if I'm wrong here, but Hampton Roads Transit should serve all of Hampton Roads. Suffolk's little minibus system with its adorable 90s logo and infrequent buses just isn't up to the task. Why not pool our resources to make service better across the board? Additionally, Kabart can raise more revenue by purchasing large retail commercial properties immediately surrounding its stations to redevelop them into more dense mixed-use buildings. Not only will this increase ridership, it will create a real estate trust the agency can rely on. Many regional institutions, such as Christopher Newport University, already do this, so we can use it as a model. To control costs and timelines, the agency will build a competent in-house team to support the engineering and planning instead of outsourcing absolutely everything.
And finally, I'm just going to throw it out there, maybe take a look at the federal construction regulations that cause our public projects to almost certainly be delivered over budget and wildly delayed. I'm not saying we have to get rid of all the regulations, certainly not, but there has to be a reason why the rest of the world is so much better at delivering these projects than we are.
Hampton Roads is a region of many destinations. There isn't just one city center that people have their eye on. There are a variety of destinations on both sides of the river that people visit every day. This area deserves something better than tide, something better than tunnel traffic. It deserves Kabart.
With just one line, Kabart will revolutionize Hampton Roads, just like the original bridge tunnel did back in 1957. There's a whole new era of connectedness awaiting this region, and I couldn't be more excited for it. Leave your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.